The 2017 Africa Cup of Nations, known as the Total Africa Cup of Nations, Gabon 2017, is the 31st edition of Africa Cup of Nations, the biennial and organized international men's football championship of Africa, organized by the Confederation African Football (CAF). The tournament was scheduled to be hosted by Libya until CAF rescinded its hosting rights in August 2014 due to the ongoing war in the country. The tournament will instead be hosted by Gabon. The 2017 African champion will qualify for the 2017 FIFA Confederations Cup in Russia. This event is also part of Africa Cup of Nations' 60th anniversary. The following countries expressed an interest in hosting the tournament: Botswana, Cameroon, DR Congo, Guinea, Morocco, South Africa, Zambia and Zimbabwe. On 29th of January, during the 2011 CAF the CAF Executive Committee decided that Morocco would host 2015 Africa Cup of Nations, while the 2017 edition would be held in South Africa. However, due to the Libyan civil war, Libya and South Africa traded years, with South Africa hosting in 2013 and Libya hosting in 2017. The Pharaohs have won the competition a record 7 times, including 3 in a row between 2006 and 2010. They've also been semi-finalists 14 times, but are very much a side looking to rediscover their old magic.
And moving to the main topic of today's edition, as we focus on the latest development in South Sudan, as South Sudan's President Salva Kiir sacked the central bank government a week after a Swiss firm offered to bail out the nation state's empty coffers. If it goes ahead, the loan would damage U.S. efforts to isolate the Juba government. The details.
South Sudan's President Salva Kiir sacked the central bank governor a week after a Swiss offered to bail out the nation-state's empty coffers. If it goes ahead, the loan would damage U.S. efforts to isolate Juba government. According to a degree broadcast on state television, the outgoing bank chief has been replaced by economist Othom Ajak. Kiir also removed the Deputy Governor of Central Bank, Deputy Minister of Finance and First Undersecretary of the Finance Ministry. The central bank abandoned fixed exchange rates in December 2015. The country's oil production has plunged and the economy is suffering after an armed conflict between Kiir and his former deputy started in December 2013. Tens of thousands have been killed and 3 million displaced. Received a financial offer from the European financier in early January, documents leaked to the South Sudan news agency show. Swiss France Luxembourg AG reportedly arranged the $105 billion lifeline deal to support the country's ailing budget. No details have been made public. South Sudan faces economic collapse after financial donors withdrew their support due to the ongoing civil war.
And now, shedding more light on the situation in South Sudan, we are joined over the phone by Ambassador Mohammed Al-Shazli, former ambassador to Sudan. Hello, sir, and welcome to our show.
Hello, how do you do?
Fine, thank you. Sir, how do you estimate the situation, the security situation in particular in South Sudan during 2016?
The report you have just broadcast shows what the security situation is. It says that 3 million people have been displaced. This is a country of a population of 8 million. And when 3 million people are displaced, this means that nearly half the population have been displaced. This is catastrophic. And let me also refer to what your report has shown about the sacking of the central bank head. Because the coffers of,
yes,
the coffers are empty.
Hello?
Hello, yes?
Yes, sir. We're following.
Let me just ask, why are the coffers of South Sudan are empty? South Sudan has received billions of donor aid, and nothing has been done with this money. Therefore, the donors are withdrawing their donations due to corruption, due to the fact that nothing has been built, and the very few that has been built has been destroyed by the strife and the civil war that is going on. I have spoken repeatedly with your programs, and I have said repeatedly, and I'm going to say again, that the leadership, both parties, have disqualified themselves from leadership. Nobody has the interest of the people in mind. They have transformed personal differences between Salva Kiir and Riek Machar into tribal and ethnic violence. Each party recruited their tribes, which is a very dangerous thing to do in South Sudan or in any African country. And therefore, I think the situation will not be alleviated except if there is a change of leadership.
Okay, sir, how do you see the unstable situation of South Sudan influence the economic situation?
You cannot have development with instability. I mean, these are two things that are completely opposed to one another. How can you build when you are under fire? How can you build when your life is threatened? How can you build when your children are threatened? How can you send your children to school when their life is threatened, when the school itself will be demolished? And I mean, building starts with education, starts with the children. So I see it in a very pessimistic eye.
So, sir, do you feel that there is any hope for South Sudan, and especially the situation there will get better or it will get worse?
I don't see any light in the end of the tunnel. The two leaderships are still there. The intransigence is still there. In addition to that, there are external forces that are financing both sides, which accentuates the situation even more. And until these issues are tackled and faced, I really don't see any hope for the country.
And sir, do you believe that the situation in South Sudan will affect the neighboring countries? Of course, Sudan itself.
In any country where there is conflict, where there is strife, where there is civil war, the first thing that happens is that, first of all, trade and commerce are stopped, which affects the economies of the neighboring countries. Refugees accumulate in countries that are already not affluent. I mean, if you look at the map, you see that the countries surrounding South Sudan are not affluent countries. They are countries struggling to build themselves. They cannot sustain the burden of the responsibility of hundreds of thousands of refugees. And the refugees also cause a security problem, because sometimes undesirable factors get and infiltrate through the refugees. Look at what is happening in Europe, where there are strong, affluent, rich countries. They are, all of them, complaining, and all of them, they are suffering from the problem of refugees. What about countries like Sudan? What about countries like Uganda? What about countries like Kenya, Democratic Republic of Congo, who are already have their very dire problems?
Sir, why did Salva Kiir now the central bank governor? Why I'm talking about the timing.
the timing, because I think there was an offer from Swiss bank, as it was said in your report, to handle the finances of South Sudan, and probably that was a precondition to help.
And sir, how do you see the solving of the crisis in South Sudan? What should happen in order to stop the bloodshed, of course, and the worsening situation there?
In all, the countries that have destroyed themselves, not only in South Sudan, in Syria, in Libya, the first step is to have a responsibility towards your country. You cannot obtain any success or any victory by destroying your country. The father of strategy, Clausewitz, said that war is a continuation of politics by other means, which means that war has to have a political significance. What is the significance of a war that destroys everybody? You have to realize this. Then external haggling should stop. Those who are financing this war from outside the borders, the international community, the African Union, the United Nations, everybody should start pressuring both sides to stop this crazy and mad war that is destroying a country without any prospects for the future.
Sir, it's a kind of power struggle. They are not, the country is not destroyed because of they have an outside war. It's a war within themselves. It's a power struggle war. Do you agree?
Indeed, I agree. I mean, these are two figures that primarily they have their own to control and to profit without any consideration to the welfare of the country, the welfare of the people. What do you expect to gain after you have destroyed the whole country, you have destroyed the infrastructure? As I have told you before, South Sudan has received billions of euros and dollars in external aid, and nothing has been, there has been a program to build roads, there has been a program to build an infrastructure. Nothing has been built.
Well, Ambassador Mohammed Al-Shazli, former ambassador to Sudan, thank you very much for joining us, and welcome once again to Africa Today. And with this, we come to the end of our episode for today. But first, we're going to listen to this song. And until we meet again, have all the best of luck.